Welcome back to the next panel. The title of this panel is The Importance of Coaching and Mentoring, Evoking Transformation Through Leadership Skills Transfer. And so as we keep in mind that the theme for this panel, I'd like to ask Mireille, what is coaching?
Thank you, Gaelle. Thank you, everyone. Yes, that's a very good question. What is coaching? What is mentoring? Those terms have been used for quite some time, and as we've heard today, part of the reasons that, or solutions for women to grow, to be empowered in many ways, is really to have access to role models and have someone really they can look up to, that can inspire them. Now, there are various ways to do that. We're very familiar with the terms of coaching and mentoring, but there is a third, which is not really very well known. It's called sponsoring. So what it means to coach someone, it's really to be coming alongside someone, a particular journey, whereby you help that person, being a man or woman, boy or girl, to go from point A to point B. So you are really that person that enables that step up to the next level. That's really a coach. But a mentor is someone that really takes you under their wings to really show you the way forward, because they have been in your shoes. They have done what you aspire to do. The third thing is sponsoring. It's something that is very common in global organizations in the West particularly, whereby you would have someone senior in a corporation that would advocate for you, that would take a risk really while they see you, they see the potential inside of you, but they will take that risk to advocate you, to really enable a transformation for you to move from one point to another. Before I get on, I'd like to talk about what we do at KORA. As you know, I'm a certified professional coach, and some of the coaching solutions that we do are based on personal development at any level, whether it's for you as an individual or for you as a career person within an organization, or really as a member of the society in general. So we came up with a 4-module, which is an acronym. In fact, the acronym stands for KORA, just like the name of our company, KORA. In fact, it's a Kinyarwanda name. It's a Kinyarwanda word that is spelled KORA, but it also means KORA. Gukora, to work. Gukora akazi, gukora ikintu, which means creating. Gukorana n'abantu, which means to collaborate. Or gukora umuntu ku mutima, which means really to touch or inspire. So those are really the attributes that allowed us to come up with those acronyms that look at 4 areas that we consider as very important core aspects of personal growth within, for yourself, but also growth within the company as well. It all depends on how you use it. So when you look at K, K stands for knowing yourself. And that can also apply to an organization. So when you do your strength analysis as an individual or as a company, you need to know yourself. As an organization, how are your strengths? How are you compared to your competition? How are you set? So we saw that knowing yourself, your identity as an organization or your identity as an individual is very key for you to move from one area to another area. So that's really what enables transformation. Now, the O part is really for others, and that applies to, again, your personal development or your competitive landscape as well. So when you are an organization or a company and you look at how you are positioned versus your competitors, it's really good to do your CI, competitive analysis, and say, okay, great, I know my strength, I know who I am as an individual company, but now as a company, how do I compare? It's something similar to a SWOT analysis in a way. So then, having looked at who you are, analyze your strengths and your weaknesses, I suppose, you need to be able to communicate. So you need to be able to relate to individual. So the R part of our coaching model is really about communication. So it's about the art of articulating, or the art of knowing how to best communicate with people that you are surrounded by, or with your customers, so that there is a customer service. Okay, I've got 1 minute apparently. I'll be very fast. So it's really about the verbal and non-verbal communications that enables growth both internally and externally. So finally, the A part is authentically. So what we do, we impart skills on authenticity. So recently, the Harvard Business Reviews mentioned that one of the top leadership skills and qualities that have been observed are authentic leadership skills. So to be real is actually something that people aspire to. I believe the MC today talked about Oprah, one of the quotes from Oprah that say that if she had known how much money she has made by just being herself, she would have tried to be herself much sooner. So some of the elements that we teach to individuals, but also to organizations, is to really be real to the core of who you are and what you stand for. So, long answer to your question about coaching, but we believe that it's very important.
I think that was actually very appropriate. Thank you very much, Mireille. Now to move on, nashaka kuganiriza Madame Mathilde. Nashaka kumubaza nk'umudamu wayoboye Program Twese Hamwe, ubu ngubu akaba ari umunyamabanga nshingwabikorwa wa Umuhuza. Ni iki mwadusangiza abateraniye muri iyi nama ku byerekeranye no guteza imbere abadamu no kubashyigikira muri urwo rugendo?
Murakoze Gaelle, umunsi mwiza mwese. Amahugurwa ni ikintu gikomeye cyane. Ndabivuga nk'urugendo Profamu yagize mu myaka ishize. Ndabanza ngaruke ku cyo Umuhuza yavuze kare. Umuhuza yavuze ngo yishimiye kuba umunyarwandakazi kandi wo muri iki gihe. Ni amahirwe koko. Mu minsi ishize ntabwo abanyarwandakazi bari bafite amahirwe nk'ayo dufite ubu. Ni ukuvuga ngo amahugurwa yabaye igisubizo cy'ibibazo twari dufite, ariko yari n'ingamba, yari strategy twari twakoresheje kugira ngo abagore bava aho bari bagera aho bageze ubu. Umbajije ngo akamaro k'amahugurwa, navuga ko kagaragarira hano. Abenshi barahuguwe. Reka ngaruke ku mahugurwa twatanze nka Profamu, ndaza kugera ku yo dufite ubu, mbereka ko nta muntu udahugurwa cyangwa utihuguwe, keretse utazi ubwenge. Abanyarwanda baravuga ngo utazi ubwenge ashimuke, ntawe urangiza kwiga. Twari dufite abanyabwenge cyane bize, ariko batamenyereye guhugurwa no kwitoza, cyane ko twashaka kujya mu nzego zifata ibyemezo, twagombaga kwitoza kuyobora sinze ko n'abagabo bagomba kuzitoza, ariko barabimenyereye. Bajyaga ku itorero, wenda twe ntabyo twajyagaho. Profamu yabaye itorero ry'abagore. Ndagira ngo mbabwire ko abagore bari mu buyobozi ubu ngubu, ntabwo turakora ubushakashatsi, ariko sinatinya kuvuga ko barenze 70% banyuze muri Profamu. Niho batuye. Twitoje, twagize amahugurwa yo kuyobora. Mujya mwumva bavuga ngo we can do it. Twageze ahantu tuvuga ngo reka tujye kwiga kwitoza, tujye guhangana n'abagabo bitoza. Twitoje kuyobora inama, kuyobora umushinga, ndetse no kuyobora igihugu, kuyobora abantu. Ntabwo byoroshye, ariko iyo zagombaga amahugurwa. Ni ukuvuga ngo twarihuguye twebwe ubwacu, duhugura n'abandi bajya guhugura. Ngira ngo nizo ngufu za Profamu. Ni uko twamanutse tukava ku rwego rw'igihugu tukagera no hasi. Ni ukuvuga ngo abari bari hano ubushize babonye igishushanyo cyerekanaga umugore ufata undi amukurura. Ni ukuvuga ngo warahugurwaga ukamanuka ugahugura undi, nawe akamanuka agahugura undi. Niyo mpamvu mubona turi mu nzego zose. Turi mu nzego kuva ku mudugudu kugera ku rwego rw'igihugu. Ntabwo ndi bubivuge kuko babivuze kare. Amahugurwa akamaro kayo rero ni akahe? Ni ukunoza umurimo. Icyo ugiye gukora ukagikora neza. ni ukuvuga ngo abagore mbere n'ubu ariko n'igihe ntabwo twari dufite chance yo gukora ikosa. Ni ukuvuga ngo twatumaga twaravuga ngo ntushobora gukosa, uragenda ubikore neza urusha abagabo kugira ngo bazatinyuka no gufata undi mugore. Byatumaga twigirira icyizere kandi akaba azi ko afite abandi bamuri inyuma. Ni ukuvuga ngo urabizi, wabishoboye, twagutoje, genda ubikore. Yagendaga azi icyo agiye gukora kandi azi ko azagikora neza. Hari ukwiga guhoraho, kare babivuze, nta muntu urangiza kwiga. Uhora wiga, uritoza, urihugura kugira ngo ibyo dukora tubikore neza, tugire n'icyizere.
Murakoze cyane. I know that Tumi and Stacey spoke to us earlier, but I know that there were people that were dying to ask questions. And this is one of the panel that was most looked forward to from what I gathered from talking to people. So I think we're probably just going to go straight to Q&A, if that's okay with you. And then you could respond and add on to whatever you wanted to add on to. Is that okay? Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and have maybe 3 questions. So we'll take 3 questions and then we'll answer them all at the same time. If we could please have protocol help us with distributing the mics. So do we have any questions for the panelists? We do have one back there.
My name is Nicole, and I'm an entrepreneur. And we actually have a network of young women entrepreneurs who need mentorship and coaching. And I would like to know if the Global Women Summit of KORA have services or programs for young women that are not yet able to pay for a lot of money for coaching or mentorship. Yeah, I think I'm talking for many of us who are here.
Thank you, Nicole. We'll have the second question. Yes, we need a mic in front of you.
Hello, my name is Mireille. I'm the director of the Rwanda Women's Network. I'm so glad that this last session is coming on because we didn't have a chance to interact. Since your leadership talk was more to do with conversation, but we didn't really have much of a conversation. Mine is just a structural question because I think coming from a networking organization, I believe so much in networking. Because networking, that's where there's power, connectedness, and of course a lot of learning. Because I'm interested in networking, this Global Women's Summit, we've heard that we have got chapters in different countries. How do you globalize yourselves with the women of different chapters, other than like having come here today, but in the normal other working processes? What is your strategy? And what is the end goal? Because I think the learning is so important, the networking is so important, and so remaining connected also as a Rwandan chapter to the other chapters. I'm curious, I would love to hear how that works. Thank you.
I would just like to point out how Mireille was very resourceful and was using Stacey's notes earlier by trying to use that mic. That was very resourceful of her. So we'll take one last question. There's a lady in the back.
Thank you. My name is Emily. I work for IHS, one of the sponsors. You talked about mentorship, sponsorship, and coaching, and we are familiar with this We see it in schools, we see it in women associations. But like, I think it was Madame Monique who mentioned that whenever she goes for meetings, she rarely sees the women at the top level. So as the Rwandan government, we are so privileged to be having people like RDB boss here. What are we doing to mentor the people in companies, young women, if I may say, particularly for this day? What are we doing to mentor these people at lower levels in companies? Because it's been done in schools, it's been done in women associations. Maybe Mathilde can help me to answer that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so I think for the first question, Mireille is probably a better place to answer that question, and then we'll have Tumi Frazier and Stacey talk about or respond to the second question that was asked, and then we'll have Madame Mathilde answer the last one.
Thank you. To the question that was asked there about mentoring younger women entrepreneurs, I totally believe in mentoring, really helping someone to progress, whether that's within your employment, your career, or as an entrepreneur heading up an organization yourself. So it's a critical role for anyone's personal growth, and that's something that is needed. I myself had a mentor who happens to be a man, who taught me great skills about business development and sales. So yes, we need more women to be role models and mentors to others, but I think we can look for mentors also outside of the realm of our environment as well. The question was specifically related to whether we can assist younger women entrepreneurs who can't afford such services, which are quite costly, we must say. Is that I would like to say one thing. At KORA, we have 3 pillars. So part of the line models that we've got are 3. So one is about consulting. We work with organizations, with companies where we consult in their human resources or capital development, management of that, the human capital development, as well as coaching, which can be within a team or a one-on-one basis. And the third part is community. So what you were referring to is that community part where we work with associations, with organizations that come under one umbrella with the same goal, really to see how we can help their members to progress. So I guess that would relate to your organization as well. So through the consulting, coaching, and community, I'm sure there is something that we can do around helping the younger women progress. And myself, having been a younger woman entrepreneur, I am really passionate about giving back, and I do a lot of pro bono work. And I'm a philanthropist at heart as well. So I'm sure we can create a system whereby we will enable some of the initiatives or empower some of the initiatives that you have started so that we help our women grow in one way or another. Maybe to you to talk about Global Women Summit in different chapters, since we are launching in Rwanda, but of course you're part of an amazing network of women around the world.
That's right. This morning when I showed the video, it highlighted some of the areas that we're already in. But in Africa particularly, right here in this room, we have different African countries represented already. We have, of course it's happening here, we next going to Kenya and then Nigeria. We have an event director for Nigeria right here. We have Ghana and Uganda. So already those are the chapters that are happening this year. And then next year, of course, going to other countries. And within that, we're not only looking at one, we're looking at various women at various levels. Women in business, women in leadership, young women entrepreneurs. We actually even wanted to involve women at universities, because that is where the actual mentoring and coaching is going to start from, and encourage them from that early age that, to collaborate, to do things together, so that when we come together and celebrate, we already have things going on in the background. This, by the way, is just a platform to launch. There are going to be programs in the background that are actual action-packed, because it's not just an event and then again we say, oh, we're having another event. The next event will actually be to evaluate where we're at. The entrepreneurs that are going to be awarded the prizes tonight, we need to come back next year and say, how are they doing? How far are they? What are the milestones? And even the ones at universities, have we coached them? Have we mentored? So there have to be things on the ground. So one of the other things for sustainability and making sure that there is longevity on the program itself is that there will be an application, an app that we're going to launch in April in the US so that people can actually connect, because we're all in technology, right? So you can upload all the, new information every day and say inspiration, entrepreneurship, what's going on. If you're a professional, you want to benchmark whatever you're doing, whether you're in finance or whatever, and say, hey, what's going on in the US? What is the benchmark in this? And then you have sisterhood, global sisterhood that connects from the app and visually and then together maybe once a year. So that is really a plan moving forward.
abantu batoya bakwitoza bate hakiri kare. Uko mbitekereza ni uko kuva mukiri mu ishuri ugomba kumenya icyo mwifuza gukora mugatangira no kucyitoza. Tumaze iminsi tubwira muri civil society kuko tutaba dufite amafaranga menshi yo guhemba, ariko tuzi ko bifite n'akamaro, tubwira abanyeshuri ngo nibaze bitoze imirimo international, bigire, bige gukora, bige kubana n'abantu, bige guhanga nk'uko twavuga twivuga, ariko cyane cyane bibafashe kumenya icyo bashaka gukora. Ngira ngo Stacey niwe wavuze ngo ntitugatinye guhindura. Ushobora kugenda wagera mu nzu ugasanga n'ibyo washakaga atari byo ushoboye, kuko rimwe na rimwe n'uburyo duhitamo ibyo dukora, sinzi ko ntabwo nibwira ko byari byanuka. Iyo ndebye njyewe abana banjye ni ukuvuga ngo iyo ubabaje ngo bashaka gukora iki, abarimu se babafasha guhitamo icyo bashaka gukora, ubona bashakisha batazi neza icyo bashaka, kandi biranumvikana natwe bakuru tugera aho tugasubira inyuma. Rero mbona ko icyo gihe iyo bagiye batangiye gukora biga birabafasha. Ngo akanyoni katagurutse ntikamenye iyo bweze, nimuhaguruke muva aho muri. Kujya mu Rwanda ni ruto cyane, kandi u Rwanda rurimo ibintu byinshi. Mujye kwiga, mujye kureba ibiri hirya no hino. Njye niyo nama nabagira ni uko mwakwegera abakuru, niyo mentorship, mukababaza, ntimugatinye kubwira umuntu ko mwamushimye, ko mwamutunze, ko mwabonye ibyo yakoze, wabigezeho ute, ese wamfasha, ese naza nkareba. Njye kwiga mu buzima ni ukushakisha, numva aricyo cyadufasha twese, kandi n'abakuru tukagerageza natwe kuba disponible, kubaha umwanya no guhagurutsa ikinanya.
I would like to make sure Stacey has something to say. Any wise words to conclude?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Any wise words to conclude? I'm not sure if this is on.
Well, I think actually the point that Mireille made, I think, is actually excellent. Ladies, to think outside of the box. You don't need a mentor that looks like you, that thinks like you, and talks like you. It's like what I said earlier, like you want a tour guide instead of a travel agent. So that's something you really want to shift your mind. My mentor is a, older man who doesn't have any of the demographics that I do. We're completely different, but he's been where I would like to go. So that's one of the things I really want to encourage you to shift that and start thinking outside the box and get that mentor who doesn't necessarily look, think, talk, and act just like you do, because that's where your real growth is. If you really, really seriously want a mentor, now your coach, because you have more one-on-one with your coach, you may want someone who you can kind of connect with and relate to as they kind of help you go from point A to point B. But your mentor, they should strictly be someone who can absolutely take you because they've been there themselves.
I think just to add on the mentoring side, I think it's important for young people to realize also that when you seek out a mentor is not going to be a magic card that we're just going to pull out and say, oh, now that I have a mentor, I'm going to, they're going to do everything for me. So you are still doing the job. You're doing the work. The mentor is just there just to guide you. In fact, you do all the work and then he holds you, or he or she holds you accountable. So similarly, what Mireille said earlier in terms of coaching and mentoring, because those are different things. So when you have a coach, that's your sounding board, but a mentor is somebody who can open the door for you and say, well, you can say so and so said, you must hold them. So that is power. It's somebody who has the power to do certain things. But you drive the relationship in either way, anyway. So many young people tend to think that, oh, I have a mentor, now I'm good. I don't have to do anything. They have to call me and push me. It doesn't work like that. You have got to drive the relationship. And you got to show them, this is what I've done, this is where I've been. What do you think? So you come with the solutions already of what you have tried to do on your own first. They're not going to always say, what do you think I should do? It doesn't work like that. Come up with something, think, and then say, these are my choices. Thank you.
This brings us to the end of our panel session. I'd just like to thank the panelists, Madame Mathilde, Stacey, Mireille, and Tumi. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank the audience. And of course, at the end of the day of the session, feel free to reach out to them and speak to them and maybe get some knowledge from them. Thank you very much.